Okay, so welcome to the podcast of CliniScripts, and we are explore the intersection of AI, healthcare, and innovation. And I'm your host, Stacey Jiang, the business development coordinator at Market Tech. And today we have a special guest join us, Joseph Marte. So Joy is an experienced healthcare technology leader and a business strategist with a strong background in AI-driven solutions. And he has worked extensively in business development, sales, and emerging technologies, helping organizations leverage AI and digital transformation in healthcare. And his insights on how AI is shaping the future of mental health clinicians will be invaluable. Joy, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I could be here and try to just lend some perspective that we've seen so far as AI has just sort of been the buzz over the last few years.
Okay, so let's start with the big picture. So from your perspective, how do you see AI transforming the role of mental health clinicians in the next 5 to 10 years?
So I think we're very early on with the relationship of AI and sort of figuring it out. But I think where it really ties in is when EHRs, the electronic health records, happened, really 20 years ago, and then 10 years ago, there was like a really big boom. And to see that is, I think, what's going to be happening with AI is it seems like it's very daunting, a lot of extra work in the beginning, but now to see how that data flows, how much extra insight we get from it, I think that's the same journey that AI is on right now. It's sort of the big buzz. It's what's happening now across every technology space, but really in the healthcare, I see it going slow in the beginning, and we're going to hit a spot just like EHRs where it sort of clicks for everybody to say, we need this, we need it now, and we need more of it. So I think it is going to transform the space. I think we're probably a year and a half, 2 years away from the big gotcha moments, but I think they're coming.
Okay, wow, it's great to know that. And I totally agree with you. And yes, so how can we ensure AI tools enhance patients' care rather than create barriers in clinicians and patient relationships?
So we've got to figure out with AI technology how it's not in your face and it's in the background. It's when we first came out, and I'll go back to like EHRs. You first came back to an EHR, the doctor had it in front of their face. They had a clipboard, they're checking stuff off, and it made it seem like, is it about me or is it about the technology? I think with AI, we have to really look at it as how does it become the background and work in the background so it's not creating that initial abrasion with patients and clinicians. And I think the ease of access and the implementation and adoption phase has to really be thought out anytime you're doing a new product. How is it going to affect a clinician? How is it going to affect the patient? And how is it going to talk to each other to make sure we're going to get the best information?
Okay, great. That's good to know that. And well, so do you think AI will serve more as an assistant to clinicians, or do you think like you see it taking on more independent roles in patient care?
So I think there's two things. I think anytime you need a technology is a tool, just like a hammer, just like a drill. I'm sure, you look at building houses 200 years ago compared to now, you did it different, you can do it faster, and you can do it better. I think AI is that hammer or that drill. And there's two purposes for it. First of all, is as we build this, it's going to make things more efficient, and it's actually going to figure out, how does it help me? And so once people figure out how it helps me, then I think the background of what AI does with data, how to pull up, hey, maybe as a clinician, you're busy, you didn't think of this. Well, the AI is going to have that database to say, hey, are these questions you need to ask the person? Are these things that you need to approach that maybe in the moment you're just not thinking about? So I think it is a double-edged sword there that could really start helping the healthcare industry. Number one, putting the right tools that are going to drive efficiency and drive better service and better outcomes, but then also back end, how to really help them reach that next level, because it's just so hard to think on the fly, especially in the mental health world where there's so many things swirling around. There's someone always, AI is sort of going to be that person that's going to have your back and say, hey, before you leave, did you ask these questions? Or did you do this? Or did you do that? So I think that's really what we need to think about. It's not here to take jobs away. It's actually here to enhance people's jobs, make it easier, which is going to help the clinician and that patient.
Oh, that's a great analogy, Joe. I really like the idea of AI being a tool just like a hammer and can help us work faster and better. But, there's often concern about AI will replace human clinicians. And so, in your opinions, what aspects of mental health care and AI support effectively, and what will always require human expertise?
So there's always, with the new technology, and I'll give this analogy. I actually was reading about it the other day. In the 1800s, 80% of Americans were farmers. They either had a small crop or a big crop. We still have those farms today. Maybe smaller, some are bigger. Technology has changed the way and the yields we get from those crops. So before you could get 4 years of corn on a stalk, now you get 12. Now you have a machine that can go over acres and acres instead of having a family member just do, 5 rows a day. And I think that's what we have to look at with AI. It is going to have some role in making everyone more efficient. And with efficiency, people are going to have to decide, is this the role that I want to go into? But we've got to realize with mental health, most people are getting into mental health not for the paycheck. They're getting it to help people.
Sure.
So how do we help the most people and get them the help they need? And that's really what I think AI is going to help. Is there going to be some replacement? Yes. But predominantly in the market, as it changes, people are going to realize I'm now going to get the help. I'm not going to have the burnout because it's not a million things on my back. And it's going to be a field that I enjoy. And then I'm actually able to help people. So like I said, with any technology, there's going to be some people that say, hey, this could replace me. And in fact, they're probably right. There's probably going to be some replacement. But it's still a tool that's going to make those jobs easy. It's going to help them do their jobs better, and it's going to help with outcomes for burnout for the clinician as well as for that patient.
Yeah, that's really an interesting way to look at it. Well, technologies, AI is set to revolutionize the mental health care by boosting efficiency. But with any major shift, there will always challenges. So from your experience in healthcare and technology, what do you see as the biggest challenges mental health professionals face when trying to integrate AI into their practices?
Implementation, adoption, and utilization. So I come right now working with a lot of technologies on the customer service side. You can have the best tool, the easiest tool, and all the shiny objects that you want. Unless you have someone, and this is really that person that's going to help you say, here's your your new technology. Here's how you use it. Here's how it's going to benefit you. You're never going to get that buy-in. And it's just like the bell curve has. You have some people that are going to adopt right away because it's cool. Some that are never going to adopt. But you really want to find that 70% of people that say, I'm open to the idea. I just need someone to help. And really, I think that's going to be the way to make it work. I'll give the example. There's some big companies that work with all the hospitals, and they have a technology that they say, right when you leave the office, please log in every day and put your vitals on there. And they have an implementation rate or an adoption rate of 15 to 20% at the max. So 1 out of 5 people are using that on a semi-regular basis. If you shift that in mental health and make it easy to implement, help them with adoption, help them with full utilization, sort of mark their progress and give them that, hey, it's working, you're seeing results, it's going to skyrocket how companies get together and actually really want to use those products. As well as for the sales of it. When you can say, oh, this company uses it and everybody loves it, people are going to say, I either want to work for that company or they're going to ask their company, can we get a better technology that helps us the same way?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, Joy, thank you for sharing your insights. Yeah, the AI's role in mental health is evolved rapidly, and it's great to hear your perspective on how clinicians and healthcare organizations can adapt and thrive in these new landscapes.